All right, welcome in everybody. We're back at you live. I believe it's 2 weeks later with the cast and crew from the original Roundtable. Hopefully, we're joined by more people throughout the show. Because if you're joining us live, it's 10:40 on the East Coast. So shout out to all of you who's joined there, and anyone out there on the West Coast. Grab that cup of coffee. We appreciate you. But who you, our man? He says it the best. This is where you got to be. Mute those TVs, throw it off. We got an hour. We'll run through all four series. We'll give you who to be targeting, the matchups to be watching for, who's going to take it over the line, how many games it's going to be. You already know Sosa and Rex are here. We're also joined back with Jammer, Vanessa Books, and Chris B. Cappin. We'll just go right to Jammer. How you doing today?
Gloomy day in Pittsburgh, but can't complain. Had a nice day off from the NBA last night and just being able to catch up for round two and getting together with these fantastic cappers here. So hopefully we'll give
And
you
your
guys a good
Pirates
show.
walked it off, too.
Yeah. I think we're right around 500, so hopefully we can maintain that.
Everyone came here for the Buccos talk. Chris, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm good. What's up, Rex? What's up, fellas? Appreciate y'all as always for having me on the show, man. It's always a pleasure to be able to come up here and chop it up with some of the goats in the game, man, for sure. But yeah, like Jemmer said, gloomy day in VA too. I'm in Virginia. But I felt like a little bit like Robin Thicke yesterday without the NBA, just kind of lost without you. But we back today, baby. So, 2 games. I'm always pumped and excited. Let's get into it, right?
Vanessa, you awake? How we doing?
I'm tantalized by that singing. I can't even lie.
Hey,
Yeah,
come
I'm
on,
good,
come
bro.
on.
It was a great voice, and we got to talk about be agents. But yeah, happy to be here. We made it. We on Daily Bread for the second time, so my life is complete. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, happy to be here. Honored to be here. Like I said before, big fan of the show. So, excited to talk ball with you guys, and should be an amazing second round of games. So excited to chop it up with you guys.
Sosa, this is just formality, so I don't get fined. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I just got a mask. You know what I'm saying? Me and Joel are going to be twins for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this next round. Going to be a lot shorter this time. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
And just remember the three dudes that we brought on the show all picked the Toronto Raptors.
that is true.
So
I think the top row were the only people that picked the Sixers.
I'm just saying. I just want to rub that in because we're back. It's like if we're reviewing. Y'all didn't miss on nothing else. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, but we're in the second round, obviously, and that's all that matters to me as a Sixer fan. Appreciate you guys for popping on with us. A couple others just busy, I guess, or they may pop back in. If they do, they have the link. But yeah, let's get to it. Rex, whatever you want to go through first. We're going to save the best series for last, obviously.
Yeah, shout out to everyone tuning in. We're live on Twitter at Daily Bread Media. Give us that like, retweet there. And then we're live on YouTube. That's the number one spot to be. We got the best chat out there. So be sure to be dropping your player of the series, how many, your predictions, because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be rattling through the games. We'll start with the series that begin today, and then we'll wrap it up with the ones that tip tomorrow. So we'll do it just like last time, roundtable talk. We'll start it off since we got over 100 plus people tapped in with us. Let's just get to it. The Grizzlies versus the Warriors. Is this the best matchup out there potentially? Maybe. But are the baby Grizz going to be able to get over the finish line? How many 20-point comebacks are they going to be able to pull off? Because in history, the Heat were the only team to pull off more than one in the playoffs, and that was not within the same series. Here with the Warriors, the three of the core have been there. They've gone through it. I doubt they let 120 game drop, let alone double digits. We'll get a finesse first here. What are we liking in this series?
Yeah, this is the toughest one for me to call. A win is a win, like you said. There's a lot of stuff from the Grizzlies that I did not like in the first round, offensively, defensively at times. But Chris said it yesterday. Every series is different. Every series presents new challenges and things like that. So we kind of turn the page and just look at the matchup. I think it's going to be a very entertaining series. I think I think it gets extended to 6 or 7. Have to take the Warriors. I just feel obligated to. The experience factor is something that just can't be ignored. So, championship medal on one side, and just pure lack of experience and youth on the other side. So, what Sosa be saying is it's a twerking contest. You know what I'm saying? Ja gonna be out there just struggling. You know what I'm saying? So Curry absolutely dominates whenever they play the Grizz. So I'm sure they're gonna try to hide him. It'd be very interesting to see starting lineups and who guards who and things like that. So that's what I'm most interested to see. But yeah, if I had to take somebody now, it'd be Warriors in 6. I think they're clicking. I think everybody's only getting healthy, including Curry. I just think it's too much defensively, offensively. It's definitely going to be a grind for both teams, but I'll take the experience. I'll take the Warriors in 6.
Chris, it sounds weird to say. You can never be Warriors about going up against a team that's bigger than them just because they'll small ball and get you out of the gym. Could that be an issue, or who you like in here as well?
Rex, that's a perfect point, bro. Like I agree with a lot of the stuff that Finesse just said, but I mean, if you go back and look at like the season series, because we typically think that history repeats itself. The Warriors were only 1-3 against the Grizzlies this year, but if you go back and dissect those games, the first one was played without Clay. Jordan Poole was dreadful. The second one they didn't have Draymond. Jordan Poole was also dreadful. The third loss it was no Steph, no Dre, and no Clay. Right. Mm-hmm. So I think all of those things take into consideration. 1-3, straight up. The Warriors were also 1-3 to the Nuggets this season. So we let that sink in, right? They absolutely obliterated them. So yeah, a lot of what Finesse said, I'm taking the experience in this one as well. I think if we look back at recent history just from last week, Rex, I think a lot of what we saw was the least inexperienced teams losing, right? We saw it with the Timberwolves. Even though for majority of the games, throughout the games, they were the better team, just not able to pull it off. The Grizzlies were the Timberwolves last year, right? So I think that experience factor definitely comes into play. But the reason why it's a little hard for me, Rex, to say just to say Warriors in 6, I think it goes 7. And I do have, I don't want to come on here and, be wishy-washy, but I do think that the Grizzlies are live dogs. They typically play better in the live dog spot, in my estimation. Just kind of watching them, they're an extremely resilient team. It was times where they could have given up on themselves, all the 20-point leads that they squandered. And like Finesse said, I talked about it yesterday in the space that Finesse held. The recency bias is gonna want us to take if we look at if we dissect what just happened in the playoffs, Golden State played against I would say a weaker competitive team in the Denver Nuggets that's been struggling with injuries throughout the whole season. And then we saw Memphis not live up to the expectations that I think a lot of people had placed upon them. But now we get slates are white. Even in this first game, I dare to take, and it's just a lean for me. I didn't put any money on it yet, but I dare to take Memphis plus the 2. And sprinkle on that money line a little bit, just because I do think that, for me, and I'm gonna be, I get to talking about this stuff, and y'all might not even get a chance to go, so I'm gonna be quick and wrap it up. But for me, points in the paint, Rex, I think that is so key, right? So like if you watch the Memphis Grizzlies play throughout the regular season, they led the league in points in the paint. Throughout the playoffs, even in the first round, they led the league in points in the paint. And Golden State plays that small ball lineup, especially with the depth lineup, where they have Draymond at the 5. When they get Steven Adams inserted back into the lineup and he's able to offensive rebound the ball the way that he was, which was a crazy X factor for them, I think that Memphis will give Golden State a lot of trouble, being able to score the ball in the paint the way that they are. But I can't. It's hard to pick against Golden State. The not only just what Finesse just said about the experience, but also from a coaching standpoint. And we still don't have a large sample size with all of those guys playing together collectively, right? Mm-hmm. The Jordan Poole, the Wiggins, the Clay, the Steph, the Draymond. So I'm banking on that, but that's more so recency bias too. But yeah, I'll take give me Golden State in 7.
Jammer, we'll let you go last because I think you might be on the island here. So it's a Iggy revenge series.
Warriors in 5, bro. This is gonna be easy. It's just gonna be a walkthrough. I love John Morant. Y'all know that. But okay, that first series was just the lesser dumb team won the series. Like they're both those teams are stupid as fuck. Minnesota turning the ball over, just doing dumb shit, turning the ball over, just fouling all game. Same going for the Grizzlies, just deciding not to show up till the fourth quarter, having to play off of just energy, and they grittied on the opposing team's logo. It's probably the worst thing for a guy like Draymond Green to want to see before you play him. They're about to smoke these cats, bro. And I love John Morant. I love this young Memphis team. I think they're going to be very, very good going forward. But they're lacking in patience. They don't execute well in a half court. They have to get out into transition to beat you. And one thing about Golden State is they can control the pace. They can shoot you out the gym. They can hit a bunch of perimeter jump shots and never have to put pressure on the rim to win a game. They're one of the few teams in all of basketball where you can outscore them by 40 in the paint and they'll still beat you by a dub, especially with the shooters that they have available now. The only thing that we have to look at is how Jordan Poole transitions back to the bench. He did struggle a little bit in the regular season when he had to go back to the bench to start. When Curry came back, and then obviously Curry got hurt again, so he went back to the starting lineup. The lineups looked very good. The last two games of the series, Poole didn't really look like the dominant force that he was the first three games. That's the only thing that would really concern me, is that I want to see if that's not some fool's gold type of thing where we're talking about this death lineup and then the opposing guards for Memphis just comes out and blows right by all of them, because that's a dynamic possibility as well. So, but for me, I like this Golden State team. I like them in 5 games. I think that they will be more disciplined. They will be better defensively at the point of attack. They have bodies, big bodies, and athletic bodies to throw at John Morant and just about any other wing guy that they have. Jammer, I'm gonna let you finish up, but that's what I got. I'm on the Warriors heavy.
So I'm sure you guys can see right behind me, I got the little Grizzlies jersey right there. That's my prediction. I got the Grizzlies in 7. I'm saying that they win on their home court. I think that home court advantage is exactly what they needed for this series, because obviously winning at Oracle is going to be one of the toughest parts of beating this Warriors team. Obviously, the Warriors just went crazy from 3 last series. They shot over 42% as a team versus the Nuggets. Grizzlies were vulnerable, allowing nearly 40% from deep. But during the regular season, they were top 10 defense versus 3. So if Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bane are able to hold their end of the defense and kind of make up for that lack of defense that Jaw provides, Warriors can be streaky. So I think that this is going to be a tough series. And obviously this grit and grind of the Grizzlies is going to be required. They can't be doing this down 15, down 20 like they were with the Timberwolves, because the Warriors championship mentality and Steve Kerr, he's not going to allow them to blow a massive lead like that. But during the regular season, we saw the Grizzlies get out to double-digit leads in the first quarter. They like to start off hot, and we just did not see that at all in the series versus the Timberwolves. So I think that early in the games, it'll be very important. I like the home court advantage for the Grizzlies, and I just think that just that grit and grind of the team, it's not going to be pretty. They're not going to be blowing them out. I think they're going to be close games, and I think it all comes down to a Game 7 on the home court in Memphis. And I could see Goliath going down to the young squad. But however, I do have a preseason plus 800 on Warriors championship. So that's always in the back pocket. So
you're on your own island on that one. I'm going to go Warriors in 6. All right, Finesse, we're going to make you go last on this one so we can all talk fantastically about the Bucks and how the Celtics should have never made that trade for not to fall back 2 spots to draft number Tatum. But Jammer, you just wrapped it up there. We'll keep you rolling. Who do you like in Bucks versus Celtics?
So, I mean, as you see behind me again, got the Bucks jersey right there. I'm rolling with the Bucks. I think that a lot of people were counting them out with the injury towards Chris Middleton. But I just think that Giannis is just the most unstoppable player in the NBA. And there's a big difference between stopping Kevin Durant and stopping Giannis. I think with Kevin Durant, you can play fundamental defense and you can kind of hold him back from dropping 30, 40 like they did. But like with Giannis, he's just going to run right through your fundamental defense. And once you get smacked in the face, everything just gets thrown out. And it's like, what are you going to do whenever Robert Williams or Al Horford are in foul trouble and you're kind of relying on Daniel Tice or maybe Jason Tatum to stop Giannis? So I think that as long as he holds down his end and Grayson Allen and Wesley Matthews are hitting threes. Grayson Allen was 58% from three last series. Wesley Matthews, 48% from three. As long as they're contributing and Giannis is obviously putting up whatever he needs to do, I could see Bucks in 6.
Chris, I was going to go to you, but we got to keep finesse sweating. Sosa, tell me why Giannis is the best player in the league right now, because you're already tweeting it.
I mean, the results speak for themselves. Defending champ, 50 points in an elimination game. This is light work, man. I love Jason Tatum. I love JB. I think they're two amazingly talented players. But it's Giannis' league, bro. We just got to live with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't like Giannis because it don't look pretty. It's not sexy. It's not the crossover step back. It's not the dribble, cross, tween bullshit. It's just, I'm going to just run at the rim and dunk on you. James Harden tried to make it sound corny until that shit got Giannis a ring at 26. Giannis's greatness will be recognized. It will finally be recognized here, man. Everybody talking about Chris Middleton. He don't need Chris Middleton. This actually works out better, in my opinion, because Chris Middleton needs the ball in his hands anyway. He's not usually a spot-up shooter, right? Like, he can catch and shoot, but that's not his best ability, right? These other guys that they have can all space the floor. When Giannis is on the floor, it's him and 4 3-point shooters. And again, like Jammer said, he's just dominant. He's a force that you can't account for. It's bigger than just, oh, man, it's just KD's going to hit all these sexy step backs and 5 crossovers. Fuck all that. Giannis about to dunk on Robert Williams' head. And when Robert Williams got to extend his defense out to the 3-point line against Brook Lopez, best of luck. Last thing I'm gonna say with this. Jason Tatum throughout his career struggles very much to score at the rim against that 3-man lineup of Giannis, Brook Lopez, and Bobby Portis. Jrue Holiday is going to have young Jaylen Brown in the Jrue Holiday Correctional Facility. And y'all are going to be sick. When he has that boy locked up, imprisoned, y'all are going to be sick.
So there's 2 things I want to add there. Bucks without Middleton are 7-9, but if you break that down, if both Giannis and Jrue Holiday weren't playing, they're 2-8, and when both Giannis and Jrue played without Middleton, they were 5-1. So they played well without Middleton as long as both of them were playing.
Finesse, don't worry. I think the tide's going to start flipping to you, and I think even though those two spoke first and they might have yelled the loudest during this segment, but I think the show might be on the Celtics. Chris, who you like in here?
Yeah, this way it flip at right here, Rex. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and do the 180. Yeah, I'm on Boston. I'm on Boston, Rex. I talked about it earlier. I'm trying to, not let the recency bias affect me too much, but I don't think it's recency bias with Boston. They've been the better defensive and offensive team, throughout the second half of the season, and we saw it, kind of play into the first round as well. We saw, I think a lot of us, I don't remember exactly how many of us, but I know a lot of people were on Boston. There was a lot of people opposite of Boston as well, taking Brooklyn. And for all the people who were on Boston, I know myself, I know Finesse, I can hear Finesse say it in his head, like, Boston in 6, right? It didn't even take them 6. They got Katie and Kyrie up out of here and didn't even take them 6. Now we can sit back and criticize Steve Nash and talk about how bad they were, and like they needed better role players and Drummond this, and all that sounds good, but for me, it's Boston's ability to be able to play defense at a very high level. It's the Chris Middleton thing as well. I do think that Finesse and Jammer Sosa and Jammer made some good points earlier, but I do think without that the offensive capabilities that Chris Middleton has, specifically against Boston. Chris Middleton has had some really good games against Boston as well. I think that's too much, Rex. I think it's too much. I think the Celtics are primed to make that really good run right now. And I should have threw a disclaimer out there, Rex, at the beginning, but I feel like because Jammer and Sosa were so high on their high horse about the Boston Celtics, about the Milwaukee Bucks, that I didn't share this earlier. But I do think that I'm for Giannis. I'm for Giannis being a grown man and not looking anything like the passive version of KD that we just saw, right? So I think Giannis goes out there, he gets his numbers no matter what, right? I do think that, but if we're talking about team wise, I gotta take Boston. And I know I didn't give a lot of stats to break it down. I got a lot of other stuff, but I know my guy Finesse, he over there salivating. I done seen him wipe his mouth a couple times, so I'm gonna just pass the ball to my guy Finesse and let him share.
I don't even know where to begin, to be honest with you. We got Sosa in the chat talking about Milwaukee playing team defense. Like, since when do they play defense? I'm just confused. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think I'm gonna say it goes 6 to give some respect. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm very disrespectful, I don't even know where to start based on what you guys said. It's crazy how the narrative gets shifted to all of a sudden Chris Middleton doesn't matter. Chris Middleton can facilitate the ball. He can obviously score the ball, second leading scorer. He kind of bails them out whenever offensive possession kind of breaks down. He has the ability to kind of create his own shot and bail them out. That's a huge loss. It makes the team easier to defend without Chris Middleton there. Y'all can talk about Grayson Allen all you guys want. He is not going to put his cape on and save you guys in this series. It's just not going to happen. So, and then, you guys talked about stretching it out, perimeter. Oh, my God, 4 shooters. We have guys that I feel very comfortable with guarding the perimeter. Time Lord, Grant Williams, guys like that. I feel comfortable with them guarding the perimeter against other bigs. Even switching and having to guard smaller guys. Obviously not ideal, but when you talk about team defense, we're talking about the Celtics. We're not talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. So Celtics have a better offense, better defense, they're better coached, they have the better team. JB being in a straitjacket, that was just unnecessary and disrespectful. Okay, I'm gonna just say that. Jrue Holiday is not a lockdown
program, my boy.
Jrue Holiday is not a lockdown defender. He's not putting anybody in anywhere. No Rikers, no prison. That shit is not gonna happen. So I think somebody said Giannis unstoppable force breaking through a deep and no, just no.
Dun, da, da.
Just simply no. So I'll just leave it at that. Giannis will not average 30 in this series. Ime will come up with the game plan. I think it's a lot of one-on-one ball with shading towards Giannis. I think it makes it easier that Chris Middleton isn't there. I'm comfortable relying on Grayson Allen and Pat Connaughton and all of them boys to shoot, 45-50% from 3 to win the series. I'm comfortable with that. So I think Giannis takes it upon himself to be more of a facilitator and try to get his guys involved. They need near perfection to even draw this series out longer. So I'm gonna be respectful. I'm a respectful guy. I'm gonna be respectful, and I'm gonna say Boston in 6.
Oh man, I'm the show vote then to determine it. Who's paying me the most via Cash App? No, but you, Finesse, you stole the words right out of my mouth. Where I have to be on the Boston side here. Well, one, Grayson Allen isn't going to be the game changer here. Giannis was going to have to do more himself to get it through. I think Boston's just a good enough team to do that. And 2, Bud, let's talk about the coaches he's faced last season throughout the playoff run and so far this season. Is Ime the best coach he's going to have faced to win a ship for back-to-back time so far.
Monty Williams he beat Monty
I
Williams.
meant in the
I'm
East.
not
In
trying
the
to hear
East.
that. I'm not
In
trying
the
to hear
East.
that.
In the East, not the West, in the East. Because he got Nash. He got I'm blanking on the Hawks coach.
Nate McMillan.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. This is the first time that he's going to be in the East coming up with a coach that can go toe-to-toe for him. That's where I'm saying Monty, yes. So that one's correct. Sorry for not clarifying.
I'm sorry because I'm partial about Monty. Like, I don't like the Suns, but I like him.
No, but that's my point where I think Ime and what Finesse said again, I think that's going to be the game changer here.
I would like to add something, though. Finesse was talking about Bucks defense. They are night and day comparing regular season to playoffs. I know that I have one stat right here that like sticks out a lot. They were playing the Bulls. Bulls in the regular season were fourth best in three-point percentage, and obviously the Bucks gave up the most threes per game, and they were bottom 5 in three-point percentage. But that just completely flipped in the playoffs. They only gave up 10 threes a game on 28% shooting from deep. So I think it's just going to be one in the paint.
That's because in the playoffs, they run you off the three-point line, and you can't finish at the rim. So you end up taking a shit ton of mid-range jump shots. The only reason that Chicago won a game is because DeMar DeRozan went absolutely nuclear from mid-range.
Yep.
Because that's what they want. Listen, that's how the defense is set up, to run you off the three-point line and have you have problems finishing at the rim. So all that, like if Boston doesn't score a large number of points in the in-between, they're not going to win the series. Because
me and Sosa have been talking about this all year. The Bucks defense in the playoffs is just so different compared to the regular season. They're almost on they're just on neutral. They're cruising, you know.
So Jammer, the stats you gave were from this year?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the same deal with last year too. If you look at their defense stats in the playoffs compared to the regular season, but this is obviously just one series from this year.
Yeah, smaller sample size, but you know, especially the 3-point shot. You know, Chicago doesn't take
in the regular season.
They have no 3-point shooters. You know what I'm saying? So of course the numbers are going to be inflated. Hold on.
No. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm reading the chat, right? Shout out to C-Pen. He said this is Grayson Allen's environment, Finesse. Be careful. That's what he told me. So
we're not telling you to watch out for Grayson.
There it is.
I don't know how to take that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just don't know. So I also wanted to touch on a play for today as well. So I'm looking at the first half team total for Boston sitting at 54, and I think it's too low. Right? We're talking about the Bucks defense is just simply too low. Bucks are sitting at 51. That's right about right. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going against the best defense in the league. So that's about right. But I'm looking at the 54 for the Celtics, and it just seems too low. So I'm going to be on that if anybody looking for an early play. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well.
The regular season matchups between these guys were pretty high scoring.
Yep.
So and then you get the quote too. Like in Giannis' latest quote, he said, you know, without Middleton, we'll have to win with defense. I think I'm leaning more toward while Jammer, you made a great point, and I think the data shows that. You know, that point being that the Bucks defense does step up in the playoffs, right? Especially if you're a championship type team, you got championship DNA, you do expect it to step up. Can we all agree that the Chicago Bulls kind of limped into the playoffs and never were like a really great, like I'm upset that I didn't make more money off fading them, right? Because a lot of what we're doing when we're investing our money into sports betting is trying to find the weakest link and continuously just going back and pounding that, right? Same thing with Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. Like I'm also upset that I didn't just fade them every single time, right? If you took Trae Young PRA under every single game, you wouldn't even have to bet for the rest of the series. You could just take the rest of the playoffs off, right? So I think we get a different animal. To Sosa's point about, you know, the Bucks running guys off the 3-point line. While I think that they will do that, Tatum and Jaylen Brown can live in the middle of that whole DeMar DeRozan thing. They can live in that mid-range section. So another reason why I like them.
You can live. Listen, if they make those mid-range shots, it's a different story. I'm saying, based on the numbers, mid-range shots are the most inefficient shots in all of basketball. So any NBA team would prefer you.
Stat nerd Sosa.
to shoot mid-range jump shots, right? As opposed to allowing them to get to the rim. And if they do get to the rim, they, obviously they have to finish. They have 3 7-footers that are in that protected area or that in that restricted area trying to punch your shit or just affect the shot, right? Just some thoughts from the people in the YouTube or in the Twitter chat. Zabita said the Bucks have the #1 rated defense in the playoffs so far, and it's really not close.
Against Chicago, yeah. We have to look at the recency bias here.
He also said it's really not close. So, I mean, maybe that's Celtics on upset alert today. That's what someone just said. Grayson Allen is not that dude. Boston doesn't get a ton of offensive. Malik says Boston doesn't get a ton of offensive boards and kickouts for threes. Curious how this affects the game. And yeah, that's Zabita said the Bucks are a lock in this series. You can book it. So yeah, these are just commenters from YouTube or from Twitter. Appreciate you guys joining us, of course.
Yes, did Rex make a pick?
Split. That's what I said. It's completely split, just like the YouTube chat. But what you say, Jammer?
I said, did you make a pick?
Yeah, Bucks.
Okay.
Not winning it. Celtics in 6.
Oh.
Got him.
All right.
Halfway through the show, make sure to give us that like, give us that retweet. We'll save the one for last that you all want us to talk about. We'll tease it up a little bit more. Let's go to Mavs versus the Suns. Sosa, since you were just yelling about Monty at me when I wasn't even trying to say anything mean about him whatsoever because he's a great coach. What franchise did he come from?
The Pelicans. He was with the Pelicans before. So
Our Pels.
They just took that L. It hurts, but it's I'm not into moral victories, but for that organization, when you start 1-12 to even get a sniff of the playoffs, just absolutely great job done by Willie Green down the stretch. It gives the organization and the city a lot of hope, especially when you add a #1 overall pick in Zion Williamson to the fold, and they're going to end up with a top 10 pick from the Lakers. Thanks again, Chris. So yeah, shout out to them. In this series, I want to go with Don Luca, but if Devin Booker is 100% and he's good to go, I think that this Phoenix team, especially with what they offer with DeAndre Ayton and being able to play on the inside, one of the biggest problems with Utah is that they have no interior presence on the offensive side. It's just the only thing they get are lobs. DeAndre Ayton's a much more skilled big and should be able to dominate the boards and play really well against Maxey Kleber and Dwight Powell. If he doesn't, then he might as well kiss whatever expectations he has of a large contract goodbye, because this series is an audition for him. Like he got about $180 million for this series here. I got to go with the Suns in 6. I originally wanted to go 5. I think Luka obviously shows us the dude just leaves an imprint on every single basketball game he plays. He affects it. He understands pace. He understands how to control. He just understands how to control the pace and keep a game close. And that in itself is a lost art. That's like 90s basketball. Understanding that if you just keep it close, he's going to give you a shot to win it at the end. And they've been living on that sort of thing all year. Just keep the game close, and Luka will figure it out at the end. I think against a Phoenix team that can throw a Mikal Bridges at him majority of the game, and then throw a bunch of other ancillary players just that are physically able to just move with him, because he's going to get his. He gets every fucking call in the fourth quarter. We know that. But I just like this Phoenix team. If Devin Booker's right, if Devin Booker's not right, they are on upset alert, because this Mavericks team is much more disciplined than the Pelicans. I hate to say that because I love CJ McCollum, but that Pelicans team was just a little bit they lacked a level of discipline, which is why they lost all close games down the stretch in the last 3 that they lost. So I think that's what it is. I like the Suns here in 6. That's my official pick.
Finesse, who do you like here in this one?
Yeah, really tough series for me. I mean, Sosa makes great points. Dallas allowed Rudy to average 12 and 13. And that's one of the most unskilled bigs in the league. So you throw DA out there. I'm expecting huge things from DA in the series. I need more than a fucking jump hook. You know what I'm saying? I need more than that in this series. So it's just really tough for me. If I had to say, I like Suns in 7. I think the series gets extended. Again, just the experience, the championship medal of the Suns, I think will show. As the series goes longer, of course, we expect Booker to get healthier and healthier. Hopefully that's the case. And yeah, I think the inside presence is going to be a nightmare for Dallas. I think the pick and roll is going to be extremely hard to defend with CP and DA. So yeah, I mean, I respect the Mavs. I respect that defense, elite defense, and that's not something you just throw around. So yeah, I say Suns in 7. Really tough for me though. Really tough pick. But if I had to, Suns in 7.
Chris, what are we liking here?
So this disclaimer, I made a lot of money with the Mavericks, beating the Utah Jazz in the last series.
Yes,
and
sir.
shout out to the Dallas Mavericks, man. I'm off the Mavericks now though. I'm off the Mavericks the same way I'm off the Bucks. I think listening to Finesse talk just now, I think I agree a little bit more with Sosa, and it might just be a tad bit too much respect for the Mavericks in this series. Give me the Suns in 6. And the reason why is because I think they just have too much depth. If you watch some of those games, Dallas does slow the pace down a lot, man. They're like one of the slower paced teams in the league throughout the first half of the season, the whole season, the second half of the season. They're really about controlling pace. And we know who can be the best pace controller in the world, right? Chris Paul could be the best pace controller in the world. So for me, it's just too much. Phoenix has a little too much. I can't rely on those guys. Even in Game 6 that Dallas was able to pull out. I'm sorry. In Game 6 that they were just able to pull out the win. In Utah the other day. You see some of the shot selections they shoot. Dallas looks like a high school basketball team with a really good point guard and a bunch of other players that just can shoot 3-pointers. Like they have I'm not totally sold on Brunson. I'm not totally sold on Spencer Dinwiddie in these spots, right? Like maybe against Utah, yeah. Utah was like let's just put all your money on the opposite team that Utah's playing and make a lot of money, right? So for me, I hope I'm not sounding like I'm disrespecting the Mavs too much, which is why I'm giving them 2 games. But I think the Suns just got too much in this one. I also think that the Pelicans woke them up, Rex. I think the Pelicans really woke them up, right? So when that series was tied, they came out and you could see some of the shit talking, like Mikal Bridges beating on his chest, and Jay Crowder always feeling like he, has been the bad guy. I think they got woken up. I also think that they've been on a mission throughout ever since they lost last year. They've been the for me the most consistent professional team in the league, and they have one goal this year, and it doesn't stop with Luka, and like it's way past Luka. It's past Golden State or Memphis, whoever wins that next series as well. Chris Paul understands that he has a limited timetable to get this championship in, and he could have retired last year if he wanted to, right? But he's just there to win a championship. And I know it's been really quick, fast, moving because this all kind of came together in the bubble for the Phoenix Suns. But I do expect them guys to come out and to look to dominate. It wouldn't surprise me if they won in 5, but I'm going to take them in 6 because I do want to put some respect on the Mavs name.
Jammer, let me hear it as well.
So I think that this is the series that gives me the most questions. So the Suns won the regular season series 3-0 straight up. They were 1-2 against the spread. 2 of the games there weren't Luka Doncic, and last time they played was January 20th. So like Mavericks still had Kristaps Porzingis. Team was completely different with him compared to now with Dinwiddie. So I don't really know how like the matchups are going to work out. And both teams in the first round got heavily out rebounded by their opponent. So who's going to control the boards in this series, I think, is very important. I just think it comes down to that championship mentality. So obviously Monty Williams, CP3, they don't have that championship, but they do have that mentality, and like they really, really want it. I guess we'll kind of see what kind of fire that ignites in them in this series. Obviously the health of Devin Booker is a big thing as well, but I just think that the firepower and the defensive prowess of Phoenix is just too much for this Dallas team, and Luka can only carry that team so far. If Devin Booker's healthy, I think this is over in 5. If he's a little slow to start off the series, I'll give him 6. But it's tough to see Dallas coming out on this on top.
Well, I got the Mavs winning this one here.
Someone
To
had to
ensure there's no show mush, to make sure we get the back and forth. And if you guys want to rely on Chris Paul to win you money and get you over that line where he's only got to the finals once last year and he's usually the reason holding it back, and maybe Book will be healthy and he'll come up with limping and we'll have to rely on campaign time again there. So that's just kind of where Luka is going to be the one-man show. The offense, that's where we're breaking it down and chopping it up. Is there much confidence in anyone around Luka to get there? Finney Smith to keep getting me 18 a game? Probably not. But this is just where I got to be contrarian here. I think Luka gets him over the line.
How many games?
6. There's no way they win in 7 in Phoenix.
That's a tough one. Yeah,
they got a couple questions. Does Chris Paul guard Brunson? Probably not. Thank you, Rex. I was worried everybody picking the Suns. Listen, this is my thing about Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson already earned himself $140 million last week. I'm sold on him because he's the pride of New Brunswick, New Jersey, and he went to Villanova, and his pops is a hell of a coach too. Like Jalen Brunson could retire tomorrow and he'll be a head coach in the NBA within 5 years. That's how much he knows the game. The one thing I will give Jalen Brunson is I didn't think he had the ability to control the pace of a game the way he did those games that Luka didn't play. I mean, he was completely under control, got in the lane, had all the duck unders, head fakes, the same stuff you would get from Luka Doncic. He's just not 6'7". And I mean, he played a great floor game, really under control. I'm really just here because I'm secretly his agent. You know what I mean? I really just want the guy to get paid. I think that, and I'm gonna throw this out now so that like in like 6 months I can look like the man. If the Detroit Pistons know what's good for them, they pair Jalen Brunson with Cade Cunningham, who has a game that's very similar to the lead guard in Dallas. They're cooking with something. I'm telling you. The Detroit Pistons need to run that man whatever he asks for to play alongside Cade Cunningham. I'm telling you, that happens, I might get both their jerseys.
No Killian Hayes also?
Don't do that. We enjoy having you on the show, dog. Hey, don't do that. Hey, don't do that to me now. Nah.
All right. Time where Sosa, you get to go last. Make sure to give us that like. Give us that retweet. Give us that subscribe. The chat, you've been killing it on Twitter and on YouTube. We appreciate all of you dropping your picks, your analysis, who you got. We got the Sixers versus the Heat. 1 and 2 won't be that great, but maybe the series doesn't start until you win a game on the road. So let's wait for game 3. That's the way I'm looking at it. Finesse, we'll let you go first here.
I'm sorry, you just want a recap of winners?
No, about to say.
You're a funny dude.
No, I was reading something. I really don't know what you kicked it to me for.
Sixers Heat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, easiest one, right? So that's why you saved this for last. So, yeah. I mean, I wish Joel was 100% healthy, so we don't get any excuses from where is he? This guy right here. But he's not. Heat in 5.
Ooh.
Jammer.
If Joel plays, give me Sixers and 6.
All right. What do you mean if he plays? Like, how many games does he come back? Like, what's your like criteria for him playing? Because he's going to be out at least 1, and I think 2 of protocol, or he can make 2.
So I don't think he's in protocol, right? It's just concussion. So if he passes that,
he entered the concussion protocol. So by rule, it's 3 to 5 up to 5 days, and then once he gets cleared by the neurologist, he'll be good. But like they have to, it's a possibility for game 2. Game 1, he's definitely not playing.
Okay, so he's definitely out. Game 1,
not playing.
All right, give me 7 then. I'll give the Heat game 1, and then we'll take Sixers and 7.
Harden legacy on the line here. So we got Jammer rocking the Sixers. I mean, Pittsburgh's further away, but I guess you'd rather be a Sixers fan than a Cavs fan. Chris, who you liking here?
I had to break the tie, Rex. I had to break the tie here, man. So first of all, I think it's important to remember like all the injuries, right? Like Spoelstra does this thing where like 10 minutes before the game, he announces who's in and who's out, and like I think he legitimately like doesn't know, like if Kyle Lowry is going to play with that hamstring injury, or Jimmy Butler might miss the knee with the knee, or Bam pops up, or PJ Tucker, or just somebody, like it could be Dwayne Wade that he just throws on there. He's listed as doubtful. You know what I mean? Like it's really, really crazy. In Miami, him and Pat Riley do a really good job of trying to, just trying to take people up, I guess, preparation wise. But if we, I think it's a lot of speculation around, Embiid returning as well. Kind of like Sosa said, if Embiid misses the first 2 games in this series, right, which I hate to put ifs in it, I think that James Harden has the capability of playing really, really big, and like kind of flashing back to the hands of time, because I think the reason why he sacrificed so much and went through so much criticism and scrutiny to get the Philly to play with Embiid is because he really wants to win the championship. I would say that. But for me, it's the lack of consistency, Rex. It's the reason why we even need to go back to Toronto for Game 6 in the first place, right? Like to me that's too much, Rex. I can't rely on James Harden to play that well. I can't rely on Tobias to even play that well again either. Somebody that's been like, primarily a no-show, but played extremely well in that last series. Opened my eyes. I was looking like, man, this is almost the guy y'all gave $300 trillion to. But I will say that I think Maxey has a really good season. If you look at his numbers, he's played well against this team. I think he's primed to step up. If you look at Maxey numbers when Joel Embiid doesn't play either, I think he's cleared his point total in like 6 of 8 games or something. For some reason, he puts that cape on, and he typically is the one that steps up a lot. So his point prop, I think, when I looked at it last night, Rex, it was like 22.5 minus 108. I do expect that to get juiced down. And it was something that I was heavy lean to going over that 22.5. Even if you look at, like, it bodes well for him specifically, but it also, if you just look at, how Miami does against shooting guards, like that's typically the position that they can, actually cook. When you get Duncan Robinson guarding you and Tyler Hero, and they're gonna have to get offense from somewhere. So I think Maxey plays well in this series. Like I said, strong lean to his over 22.5 points tomorrow. I haven't put that ticket in yet, but yeah, give me the team that plays the better defense in this series. Give me the team that I think has the better coach as well. Give me Spoelstra, and give them to me in 6 if Embiid wins. If Embiid plays the final 4 games.
Do I really have to make a selection on this one before Sosa goes?
Of course you do, Rex.
Yeah. People need it.
All right. Sosa always wants to be the typical crazy Philly sports nutcase or whatever. So that's where I would say Sixers and 6 in that one.
I resent that because I only like one Philadelphia team. You are a Philadelphia sport nutcase.
No, you want me to be like more crazy about it and be the wild person that you see on Twitter. Because I'm very quiet as a Philly sports fan. My basketball brain and non-bias says Doc gets owned in Game 7 again in the second round, and the Sixers still don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals since 2001. I don't distrust anyone on the Sixers team other than Doc. And it's just going to be if he can get past Spo, because we have the guys, even with Embiid's back for 2 or 3, I don't think we get 1. You can chalk that up to Miami easy. They probably get 2 as well. Sixers defend home, and I think when we get to 7, that's going to have to be where Doc's going to have to help schemes go. Get Duncan Robinson to make him be non-threat. Bam. Once Embiid's back, he'll be good, but Bam's probably going to eat when Embiid's gone in 1 and 2, so his points, props, and all his numbers are going to go extremely juiced, so look to fade him in Game 3. And past that, Tyler Hero is really going to be the game changer in this one because Jimmy's going to get his 20 to 25, and I don't really think there's much to do about that. Jimmy's going to go off in the Sixers series. That's all the thing I have, the one part. But
We
Hero's
gonna
going to
bet
be
that
the game
straight up, 'cause
changer.
that's cap. That's cap. Matisse gonna have that fool in jail. He don't do anything at a top level. They was just playing the fucking Hawks, dog.
All right, let's see it. That's what I'm just saying. I think Jimmy has a lot for this one here. He wanted to still be in Philly. If there wasn't some dude with the initials,
We didn't want him there anyway.
He would
Fuck
still
that
be
guy.
in Philly with Joel because those two loved each other.
They'll be all right. Plenty of other fish in the sea.
Go ahead, Sosa.
Thank you. Thank you
Here
so
we
much. All of you are dead wrong. I just want to throw that out there straight up. I'll be the only guy on the Sixers. James Harden, when he beats Miami by himself, by his fucking self in one of these first two games, don't come back here talking that shit. I don't know why you just put me on the screen by myself, which is cool because I hold my own by myself. I'm great by myself. Y'all keep telling me about the fucking Heat. Tyler Hero can't guard nobody. I'm not worried about a guy named Gabe or Max. Like, those aren't even basketball player names. You think I'm worried about Tyler Hero? Tyler Hero can't guard Chris B. Captain. I heard Chris B. Captain gave that motherfucker 40 like a week ago. Like, he can't play defense. Duncan Robinson, y'all might as well just forget his fucking name. He's not even going to play in the series. And also, listen, y'all want me to respect Tyler Hero. This ain't nothing special. All he did was have a career year when he was looking for a contract. We see that happen all the fucking time. It's not the first time we've seen that shit. Next year, when he's averaging 12 and they gave him a bag, nobody will give a fuck. I'm dead serious because that's exactly what the fuck is going to happen. He had a great year in a contract year trying to get his money, and the only sample of fucking statistics we got from the guy is at the LA Fitness 2 years ago. Give me a fucking break. Sixers in 6 with or without Joel Embiid. I'm not worried about Bam Adebayo. He can't shoot jump shots off the dribble. He can't. He might be able to maul his way a little bit in the paint without Embiid there, but I'm not worried about this team. Y'all overrating this Heat culture bullshit. That Heat culture shit is trash. Eric Spoelstra got 2 rings with LeBron James. He missed the playoffs 3 fucking times since. Greg Popovich ain't never missed the playoffs. Stop putting that motherfucker's name next to Greg Popovich. He ain't did shit without LeBron. And don't tell me about the LA Fitness. Don't tell me about that bullshit. That is not real. The bubble was not real. That shit was fucking fake. Spo being a genius? Sure, man. How much genius did it take to win 3 championships off the back of 3 first ballot Hall of Famers? 4 if you count Ray Allen. What the fuck are we talking about here? Genius. Missed the fucking playoffs three times since LeBron James ain't been in a Heat uniform. Last time I checked, LeBron ain't been in LA that long. He ain't been gone from Miami that long. He ain't. They done missed the playoffs 3 times, but y'all talking about him as this universally renowned genius. He's a basketball coach. Nice video guy. He was handpicked by Pat Riley. Well, what has he done? Developed Josh Richardson? And what the fuck has he done since? Bring in Jimmy Butler, overpay a guy who is not a max player, and everybody keeps lying to us that he's a max player? He shouldn't even be the highest paid player on his team. He fucking stinks. So that's all I'm going to say. I mean, I'm not salty at all. I'm a happy guy. But y'all keep lying about Eric Spoelstra. What the fuck has he done without LeBron James? Nothing at all. Missed the playoffs 3 times and had a nice run in the LA Fitness.
If Embiid didn't play a game in the series, you still be taking Philly in 6?
Nah, he can only miss one of these bitches.
Oh, because you said with or without Embiid. So
he only gonna miss one.
You can't go down 0-2.
So I'm not tripping. He's only going to miss 1 game. So it's not. And I also like us to be able to beat them without him, to get 1 game in Miami, even if he doesn't play. Y'all are severely overrating this Heat team, bruh. All that Heat culture bullshit. They got 10 undrafted players. Who gives a fuck? I don't care about that shit. They're not finna win the series. They played Atlanta, dog. They played fucking great value Allen Iverson and the Pips. I'm not worried about that. Get out of here with that shit.
It was a Saturday in March, so I remember because we talked about prior games between these two. Harden and Embiid both missed, and the Sixers almost pulled out that dub in Miami the 1 game. For everyone who's talking about recent games, it was after the trade, so you have what it could look like.
Hey, that was one of my favorite quotes right there. I just saw that Rex just up on the screen. It's really hard being a James Harden fan. So the Rex quote.
Hey, listen, man.
Hey, he got to get in this bag. The way Sosa talking about these Sixers. Oh, James Harden he got to get a triple-double every game.
I heard he cut his hair to a mohawk last night, dog. I heard we finna get some shit. I heard some shit finna go down in South Beach next week, dog. You listen, every person that's down in my Sixers, make sure y'all have that apology ready. When James Harden goes and wins one of these 2 games without Joel, have my fucking apology ready. That's all I'm gonna say. When Shake Milton is shitting on Tyler Hero, have my apology ready. I'm dead fucking serious. When Shake Milton is giving that white boy from Wisconsin buckets, holla at me.
So you hitching that wagon. You hitching that wagon to James Harden, and that's your story.
Yeah, I have no choice. See, this the thing.
Is he don't got a choice.
No fucking choice. I don't got a choice, dog.
If there is something I do want to bring up is like, what can we expect from Victor Oladipo? He was the second highest scorer in that series. Jimmy Butler averaged 30, but like, are they going to get any production outside of Jimmy Butler?
I heard Oladipo is performing his new album at halftime, game 2. Is that motherfucker not even going to see the floor?
Little jazz ensemble or something.
He actually can sing. I didn't know Chris could sing. He can sing his ass off.
He can really sing. I can't.
That dude Victor Oladipo can really sing.
Yeah, he can really sing.
Like outside of Jimmy
Butler. Halftime game 2.
Hey, Jammer, but look, to your point, Jammer, I think when you're talking about the Heat, right? They're one of the teams that you don't really have to worry about who's going to be this. I mean, not worry. I don't think worry is the right word. But as far as like trying to predict who's going to be the second, third, fourth leading scorer, right? People like Bam Adebayo, for me, he's extremely inconsistent. He's too passive. But like the Heat are a team by their committee team, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't necessarily know, Tyler Tuesdays. He goes off on Tuesdays and scores 25 to 30 points. Duncan Robinson gonna hit 6 threes in one of these games, but the other game he might go 0 for 7, right? Mm-hmm. So I think Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, these guys can step up. I do expect the role players to kind of pick and choose their spots. And for me, I'm taking the better defensive team, and I'm taking a team that has more, just more guys that's capable. Because if I'm relying on James Harden, who can, I think he can turn back the hands of time, like Sosa said. I don't expect him to be able to do it for the entire series. I don't expect Tobias Harris to be as effective as he was last series. So for me, that's why I got Heat in 6, and it could be Heat in 5.
So I kind of brought this up earlier with Giannis. It's like you can play fundamental defense, but as soon as you get smacked by Joel in the paint, it's like everything just completely thrown out. So, I mean, if they're going to be ganging up on him in the paint and he's just dishing out to Tobias Harris or Maxey or Niang, and you get those catch and shoot threes, if they're dropping, this Philly team's dangerous, especially whenever they're ganging up on Joel in the paint and they're just leaving those wide open threes. Like I know there were a lot of those options in the Raptors series. It's just a matter if they're hitting them or not, because obviously Joel's going to be getting his buckets. He's going to be going to the line. Like Sosa said, big responsibility on Harden in this game 1 without Embiid, but he needs to play well with Embiid as well. So a lot riding on that, a lot riding on the role players. Jimmy and Embiid can only take them so far.
You muted, Sosa,
bro.
How is Eric Spoelstra a genius? He has nothing without LeBron James, and the only time he got to a finals was at the YMCA. Get out of here.
Hold on, I want us all to put this how I want us all to put our hands in the middle, right? This is gonna be like middle of game 4, right? In like the huddle, right? It's gonna be.
I know what's about to come.
I know what he's about to say. You're not gonna get me.
Club live. That's what it's gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
Right up the street.
Right down the corner. Some wings.
$12 Uber.
Wait, hey, can we? I got some Twitter evidence from Sosa 2 days ago. Spoelstra is an absolute genius.
It got me in 4K.
Respectfully, you not playing.
It got me in 4K.
With James Harden.
It got me in 4K. Fuck.
Oh my God.
Is that you? Are you anonymous?
That was my burner, dog. That was my burner.
Wait a minute. That's the exact tweet.
I know. He literally copied and pasted my tweet. Like
that's what this part had me fucked up, but now I get it. He really don't care.
I knew that already.
Shout out to you, commenter of the day.
I lied.
Easy.
Oh my God.
He might be. He's a good video guy. That Spoelstra. My favorite Filipino. You know what I'm saying? We pulling up for adobo chicken next week, right after we beat the shit out of them. I'm not trying to y'all. I can't believe y'all. But yeah, I think that pretty much concludes things. That dude,
anyone want to
whoever
say
this guy
anything
is
else
upset.
about any of the series?
You're upset. You're not mad at me. You're mad at your father. Same goes for you. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it.
About the
Yeah,
series.
I mean, whoever, listen, if there's anybody, any employees for Club Live watching, whenever that day is, get ready. There's gonna be money flying. Pay some bills. You know what I'm saying? College tuition, whatever y'all want to do. So
yeah, I mean, Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero are going to need somewhere to go after they get their ass whooped.
I don't know if the story's true.
They probably get it for free though.
So CP3 held a time limit or whatever, like a curfew for the team down in New Orleans. I don't know if Philly will do the same thing with Harden.
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let's get that out the way.
Doc Rivers gonna be looking like Coach Carter trying to go get his guys back from the pool. Nah.
Oh shit.
Crispy Captain, make sure to be following him. Make sure to be following Finesse the Books as well. Both host great spaces. Both produce their own content on YouTube and Twitter. So be sure to be following them. Give them the follow. And then you already know Jammer. He's our guy from Sunday Morning Quarterbacks. He's partnered up with the commish on Delphi Sports. So you could be checking him out there as well. Be sure to be following those three. We appreciate them spending an hour with us talking hoops. No better way to start off your Sunday. Sosa, you good? You happy?
I'm great. I appreciate everyone. It's Giannis's league, man. We're just gonna have to get used to that shit.
They do start off slow in the series, so
they usually lose game 1 or 2.
Here we go.
Just get your series bets after that. You know what I mean? It'd be much better line.
Get them on the discount.
Much better line after they lose game 1. If they lose game 1.
Take the Celtics minus 185 while you can get it. That shit gonna be minus 480.
Minus 185. What am I gonna do with that?
Just take it. It's the best value you're gonna get. Just take it.
I'm gonna parlay it with the Sixers in 4.
Ooh. Okay.
That's a plus a million.
Listen to you. I try to say it nicer, but he's making the point. We out. We appreciate all of you.
Appreciate you guys for having us on, Rex. Appreciate